What's up, YouTube? We are talking about roofers in recovery right here. That's when you hit rock bottom and then you become a blue collar millionaire. And
That's
this
true.
man's doing it in a different way. You think that it's white collar being an insurance adjuster, pushing papers, negotiating claims, but actually it's a dirty job out there getting on roofs, getting in tight quarters, fighting insurance companies. And one of the things that's gone viral across YouTube, that's gone viral across Instagram, is roofer versus adjuster fights or adjuster versus adjuster arguments. It's like people, even regular people, like it when someone stands up for an obvious insurance claims fraud victim and shows kind of like the little guy fighting back. And my man Dan here, Daniel Smith out of Peoria, Arizona, is a top public adjuster across the country, and you're here to make America great again. I love that, brother.
Oh, amen. Hell yeah. Everyone calls me Smitty. There's enough Dan. I'm Daniel Woody Smith. I got the whitest name in a dictionary of white names. So there's enough Dans out there, so everyone just calls me Smitty. And I own Adjust Pro Solutions. We're a public adjusting firm in Arizona, also licensed in Utah, Texas, currently getting licensed in California, Florida, another handful of other states where I'm licensed. I am not white collar at all, bro. I did pretty good at screwing my life up early on and young, like most entrepreneur stories are. Started at the bottom.
Do that? Let's tell us how you fucked it up. They love that part.
All right, so got to college. Was playing some football, but really just partying. Didn't really go to school. They got me into construction management. It was like this IT program, construction management. And I was like the last batch they brought in. There was 2 teachers. The whole thing was going under. And I was kind of grandfathered in. So they were just giving us C's. I didn't even go. And they were just giving us C's. I'm not going to drop the name of the school, so I'm not going to badmouth no one. But I ended up taking a human genetics course because I'm dumb with no guidance and got an F in that. And that got me kicked out of school. Nice. Then I had to move in with the moms, got a DUI, had to give away my vehicle because within 30 days it'd be worth less than what the impound fees would be. So I had to say bye-bye to that. So sitting in my 2-bedroom apartment with my mom, looked in the mirror and says, I'm not a fucking loser. And something's got to fucking give here. You got to go make it fucking happen or you got to die trying. And that was my mentality. My buddy was working at a door-to-door home improvement company, and he says, "Well, I got I got a spot on the floor you can sleep on, bro, and you got a job here." And so I was there the next day,
knocking doors.
Knocking fucking doors.
Oh shit! Tell me about your first sale.
My first sale. It's funny because a lot of the guys just call me Gutter Dan because this was back in Santa Fe. I used to slang gutters, bro. I used to walk up and if it was raining and I'm getting rained on here, I'm like, it'd be nice to knock on your door and not be standing in the rain while I'm talking to you. We had these beautiful gutter options and blah, 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 blah. So, and that was just starting out. So I started slanging the gutter route. They were small sets, but we were paid hourly anyway. But it was a good company. But I was just passionate. I'm like, dude, I got nowhere to go but fucking up from here. I'm looking at possible jail time or whatever. I'm going to give it my all. And so I was practicing my pitch 30 minutes before every meeting out in the parking lot. I'm pitching everyone you could think of, just obsession, right? Because it's like, I'm not a fucking loser. With my mentality, I'm not going back to that shit, right? So within a month, I became assistant manager. I was killing it. And then, a buddy of mine who was my business partner, the company brought him out to Arizona. I came with them as his right-hand man, and we worked for another company as door knockers, and we did well there until they cut our program. And then I was kind of a nomad, couch to couch with some ex-girlfriends. And then my buddy's like, I'm gonna start a home improvement company. I said, well, I'm your dog. At that time, I got the court case went through. I got the ankle bracelet on my leg. I have to wear jeans in the summer, 110-degree heat in Scottsdale, Arizona. Got dropped off and knocked doors from sun up to sundown. Within the first month, I did 80K, then like 150, and then 200, and then 250, and I was about 250,000 every month after that. knocking doors and
you're a
sales.
graduate of what I call the Cons to Contractor program, a complete reformation story of hope and blue collar success. That's amazing.
Yeah, man. I wanted to stay the fuck out of that shit. You know, I didn't want to go to jail or anything. So I just focused on, you know, I like talking to people. I'm an only child, bro. My whole life is always trying to like make friends, and being outgoing, outspoken was kind of natural for me. And I like to think I'm a good person at heart. I don't like to do anything shady. I don't like to BS or lie. Being honest is much more easier of a route for me with people and with customers in general. So I just be genuine and honest to people. And it's really about how many doors you're going to knock in a day is how much you want your paycheck to be. That was my mentality. Is if you knock more doors than me, you deserve more money than me. But if I knock more doors, I deserve more money. So let's go get it.
Yeah, one of the things that differentiates me and your content is that you're running your public adjusting company like it's a roofing company, like it's a door-to-door sales company. Your sales meetings look like my sales meetings. And, you know, I haven't seen that in a lot of different public adjusters. You know, what do you think the secret is to motivating your guys? How do you keep your guys going? Tell me about your team.
So we've cycled through about 2 to 3 teams, to be honest. We'll build it up, and then we'll apply leaders. But if those leaders are not like-minded or have the same mission statement that you have, they're going to start looking for their bigger picture, which is just natural. And as a young entrepreneur, a young businessman, I didn't know how to help others grow like I should have, how to show them the different reaches they could get. And it kind of created that separation where they're like, well, I'm kind of hit the ceiling here. I need to go out and do my own thing. And that's when they start poaching the teams and things like that. But what we have done now is we have full-time recruiters that's, go ahead.
Go into that. Dealing with poaching the teams. I want to know, sometimes losing good people can be the hardest thing, because when they stab you in the back, it could be even harder. Any of that emotion, can you describe that and how sometimes it makes you not want to grow in business?
Well, at sometimes it's my fault and sometimes it's their fault. So you got to take accountability on both sides.
I like that.
For me, if something happens to you, it's just not on the whim. There's usually there's a give and take of life, a positive and negative. So you have to be involved in some way. What's that?
Where there's smoke, there's fire. There's some sort of
exactly. If you're going to be the captain of the ship, you got to take the good and the bad. You know, so you can't just be like, well, they left because they're insubordinate or they're uncoachable or they just didn't get the program. No, you didn't implement the right, path to them or give them the right opportunities. You got to take some of that accountability. There were times where we had bad eggs. Dealing with canvassing. You got some of the bright and youngest of the generation, and you got some of the grimy go-hards that I need to get this money X, Y, and Z right now this week. So they're going to make it happen, but you're not going to see them Saturday, Sunday, and maybe not Monday.
So in the state of Arizona, a guy can go door to door without being a public adjuster, be an agent of the company to represent you. And then what's the door to door pitch?
I'll pitch you right now. So
hello.
Hey, glad to catch you home. My name is Dan. I'm with the Just Pro Solutions. I take it you're the owner of the home?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful home. We are local licensed public adjusters who specialize in storm restoration and roofing. The reason why I stopped by, the storm last month destroyed a lot of roofs here in your community. I can see you have severe storm damage to your roof. I'm going to have my inspector stop by to see if this roof qualifies to be replaced like many of your neighbors. Right now, homeowners insurance company is getting their roofs replaced through their homeowners insurance that look just like yours. This is a beautiful home, by the way. How long have you owned it?
We've been here about 4 years.
Okay, so you know your way around the dark by now. Do you have any idea how old the roof is?
It's about 12 years old.
Okay, I'm glad I'm here. Do you have any idea who the insurance company is that covers the home?
State Farm. Snake Farm.
State Farm. Perfect. We work with them all the time. So I'm going to have my inspector stop by here next, see if you have enough qualifying damage to get your roof replaced by your insurance company. We have a bunch already approved in this area. My name is Dan, by the way. What was your name?
Lee.
Lee, nice to meet you, Lee. And the best phone number to catch you is
right
blah,
here,
blah, 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 blah. And the best address is 123 Random Street. Okay, Lee, can you do me a favor? Can you grab your policy information and have it handy for my inspector when he gets here to help speed up the process? We look forward to getting your roof replaced by your insurance company. And before I leave, Lee, as well, you know, we're the #1 public adjuster in the state. No one gets more roofs replaced than us. If you do have that qualifying damage, we're gonna do everything in our power to fight to get you that new roof you deserve. But if you don't have the damage, we're gonna let you know so we get part as friends. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. I'll have my inspector by shortly. Shake hands, get the info, and get out of there.
So are
don't
you
linger? Don't linger.
Are you going to be my roofer too?
So we have a preferred vendor. So we will go over all of our options, but our preferred vendor is a Master Elite roofer with GAF, who's the #1 supplier when it comes to roofing material. And so they'll go over their presentation, but the goal here first is to get your insurance company to pay for this roof.
Okay.
No point in talking about roofing until we got a paycheck until we got a check in our hand, correct?
And how much do you charge for your service?
So we do have what is called a finder's fee, but with our preferred vendor, if you use our preferred vendor, there's no fee at all.
No fee?
Yeah, no fee at all. We are rolled in right with the contractor, and our goal is to get this roof replaced to keep our guys working.
Okay, keep them working. Love it. Go ahead, put them to work. Go get me a roof, Mr. Smith.
100%, man. And then we have our guys. So we broke it up. You know, most companies that do this, they have what is called a project manager who kind of does the whole entire operation on their own, and then basically brings it to the contractor and he installs it. We tiered it out to where we have canvassers, which we call finders, who are knockers, and then signers who go in after the fact and go on the roof, take the pictures, sit down with the homeowner, go over the paperwork. And then we have adjusters or our field techs to meet with the insurance companies. And then we have our schedulers. And then we tiered off every branch of this thing. So it's a constant moving machine, and we're able to handle much more volume at that rate.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
That's beautiful. I love how, you kind of stay in your lane. You're going to be the public adjuster, and, it really doesn't matter how much you charge because it's covered by the vendor.
Correct. There are deductibles, but we'll get maybe further into the conversation. With our solar and things like that, we have the financing options on the other side are fantastic. But you mentioned white collar, blue collar. Like, dude, I'm blue collar. I'm a door knocker. I passed the test.
Door knocking is blue collar. How is door knocking a blue collar trade?
Well, to me, you're working with your hands. Obviously, you're out in the elements. You're going on roofs, you're picking up trash, you're singing in the streets, you're doing whatever it takes to earn the business. You're driving out there. I mean, am I pulling shingles off a roof? No, I'm not. But am I identifying the damage so someone else can? Yeah. Are we both evenly equal in that part of work? Possibly, but I don't find anything. Most people think it's hard to go out there and dig a ditch for 8 hours, which it is. Don't get me wrong, 100% it is. But go out there and get told to fuck off by 100+ people over 8 hours and still have a smile on your face and still pound that door until you have a bruise on your knuckle. I mean, that to me, that's a different type of labor as well. So I put them up there with the blue collar guys because I think they're both eating at the same table.
And for me, as a guy who has enjoyed it since the age of 12 years old, it's almost an art form. And it's like every single time I'm at a doorstep, there's a performance. Because in order to get people's attention, you have to strike something that just basically like humanity. It's about relatability. It's about humor. It's about being good at just being able to connect with people. You must be a master at this. How do you build rapport with the people at the door? They're like, oh, I don't want to be an adjuster.
Well, I talk very fast, but I come in with such high positive energy. I'll be singing like some corny country song, walking up to the door. If I see the newspaper in the driveway, I'll pick it up, bring it to the door, set it by the door, ring it. They'll come out. I'll always turn my back to the door. So when they open the door, it's kind of like they interrupted me or walked into my office type deal. And I'll turn around with the whole, howdy, glad to catch you home. Sorry about the puppy alarms. Go with the Haight energy, the Mr. Rogers type vibe. So that gets rid of the first, sidestep rebuttal procedure, 1, 2, 3 steps of your pitch. With the qualification, you're going to get the back and forth, the Q&A. That's where you get kind of the real objections. And I just know how to handle real objections. You got to put yourself in their shoes. If you get to the point of qualification and they're giving you real objections they have towards the process, they're telling you how to sign them up. They're saying, if you overcome the things I'm asking you now, then I'm all in. So most people, when they're pitching or doing their thing, they're not listening to the person. They're more or less trying to steamroll them or give them the sweet little one-liners that'll get them through to the finish line, where instead of listening to them and actually hearing what their issue is, and then be like, okay, I can appreciate that. Let me ask you, have you done A, B, or C yet? Okay, you haven't. Well, see, that's what we specialize in. We specialize in C. And what C does allows us to tackle D, E, and F. So you don't have to. And then it will kind of roll them back and be like, okay, I'm actually talking to a professional. Because all people want to do is be led by a professional. They want to be led by someone who's serious, who loves what they're doing, who's passionate, and knows what they're talking about. And I don't care what occupation you're in. Think of any person you've ever done business with, anything. If they were professional, if they were enjoyable to talk to, and they answer your questions, I'm pretty sure you signed up.
Man, I love it, dude. Public adjusters out knocking doors, getting their own claims, referring deals to roofers. Dude, there's almost no public adjusters like you. Has anybody ever said like you're one out of a million? Because most of the guys, they just go to contractors, they beg for your deals, they don't generate their own business. You know, it's like two different types of people.
Well, most public adjusters I know, they never came from the door knocking side of the world. They came from, I used to work at State Farm and I did estimates for them here and there. And then I started, I seen what the profit was for fire claims or large flood claims. And so they chased the ambulances for a year and get, 8 or 9 big jobs. And, they make good money doing that. For me, it's like, I'm knocking doors every day. I'm getting, 25, 30 roofs paid for a week by insurance companies. And I'm providing income to the door knockers, to the office, to the contractors, to the tax man. It's like, for me, I've always wanted to make everyone around.
That real estate out there in Arizona is going up. What do you do in the real estate game?
So I bought my own place a year ago. I got a good rate, good price. I haven't really got into that because I've been more on pumping money back into my business.
Gotta love it. Best investment in this time, honestly. And Arizona's been a crazy market. I was just wondering, but basically, one of the things that we're going to be talking about is, as we're guys that have cash flow in businesses, that's king during these times, and being able to take that and get into, there's a lot of good opportunities in Florida, but there's probably great opportunities in Arizona. A lot of times we find some that through the insurance claims process, and a lot of leads for acquisitions come from my sales team. Like I did one networking event, 7 opportunities. A couple of these deals are about to close that came from my sales team. And one of my students is like closed on like 4 deals in the last 6 months. We've got a lot of creative financing and a lot of opportunity. So, we're going to be talking about that at the conference, but I'm pumped to have like a public adjuster. Most of the time at some of these other conferences, it's the same old gig. Oh, you can't talk like a UPPA. I feel like I'm at the principal's office. Oh my God, UPPA. I just want all the roofing contractors out there to know I'm the guy that says fuck you to all of them. And I always like to skirt exactly what I can legally, but there's a lot of rules. And basically I know that as long as you don't break the rules, and as long as you live a pretty good, nice and clean, good life, that you can tell these thought police, these UPPA people, what all good storm chasing roofers from this side would say. Fuck you. We can say what we want, but basically, I hate to say it. If I don't have an assignment of benefits, I'm not going to talk policy. I'm not going to be able to do certain things. And I stick to the insurance claims process where we work with PAs, we work with attorneys. It goes through the attorney process a lot. And I don't really try to go and fight cases that I know I can't win without an advocate. Now, does that mean that I don't point out damage and have a supplement department and do all that stuff all on my own? Absolutely. Are my best friends public adjusters, and do we work all together as a team? Absolutely. But for me to say as a roofer, they made a law here in Florida. Do you know what the law was?
I heard they made some new stuff that's pretty wild. That's really hamstringing the contractors, but
it lasted 9 days. And it was that you couldn't say the word insurance claim in roofing. You couldn't tell people that wind damage could get you a new roof paid for by the insurance company. That would be illegal.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that's wild.
And DeSantis signed the bill. And DeSantis signed the bill. I mean, he's $500 million from insurance companies into the politicians' pockets. But the bottom line is that, public adjusters got the backs of the people. And a lot of times the fastest way to go through this process is, instead of tying them up in court, what do you recommend a lot of times on these claims that helps them stay, it goes pretty fast, that stays out of court?
So we have a pretty high success rate. So I am not the smartest guy in the room, and I don't want to be. I surround myself with some very talented licensed adjusters on my staff, and they're constantly learning. I'm actually sending them they went from Florida, now they're going to Texas for more education. So I got a lot of just animals on my side that keep me, informed of what we need to do. But when it comes to all the insurance companies, we tend to have good success rates, except for one, and you may have mentioned them earlier. And it's a shame because a few years back.
You ever use the appraisal process?
I'm sorry?
You ever use the appraisal process? Did people ever use you in the appraisal?
Yeah, every week. So we were using it a lot, but now we've gotten it to where they're buying it without appraisal. We're pretty much getting them to agree before we go to appraisal, because they know once it hits the appraisal, it's going to go up another 10, 15K, maybe more. So they're kind of green lighting it before that. But I've had, I wanted to say 7 to 8, maybe 10 claims that went through appraisal, went through umpire, all parties agreed, and the insurance said take us to court still.
I love it. Do you get into any commercial condos, large loss? You've been chasing?
Yeah, I do hotels. We had a large flood at an antique shop. I do a lot of hotels.
How do you door knock a large loss?
So I get those mostly from my contractor relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I have a preferred contractor vendor in Tucson and a preferred one here in Phoenix.
Right.
And I have, my north I don't, but I have about 30 contractors between north and Phoenix that bring us different types of commercial and residential business. So a lot of the commercial comes mostly from the contractors, but now we're getting a lot from solar. So our solar is bringing in a lot of commercial too, because they can't put solar on a shitty roof.
That brings me to an important part. So talk about how solar, insurance, and retail roofing all work together in Arizona from a public perspective.
Yeah. So what we did, so I started knocking for roofing about 4 years ago, and then I learned what a public adjuster is, and I got the license, and we were off and running right before COVID, and we tore it up. So 3 years in, I met some business partners that were in solar. And so we're like, okay, let's join forces. They had a pretty good sized team knocking doors for solar. So they came on board, and they were just doing these blitzes, flying everyone out there, or driving everyone out to California for a week and staying in these Airbnbs, and then in Texas and here, constantly just driving everyone around and knocking doors for solar appointments. And there was just really low success rate, very, very, very low success rate. And I said, this is just, and people are falling off like flies. I mean, this is unsustainable. We could keep hyping people up for the time being, but after a month or so, if they're not getting deals, how are they going to eat? Because in solar, even if you sell something, you're waiting 3 or 4 months most of the time. So I said, you know what, we're flipping everyone to door knocking for roofs. And so we're going to knock the roofs. And once we show up at that homeowner's house with a check for a brand new roof, we're going to say, grab your energy bill. And so we started doing that. So it took a month or so to get the rotation going. But once we started having the perfect, the guys in the front were singing the same tune as the guys going into the house after it was bought, these homeowners just started grabbing their energy bills. And we were rolling in our GAF Golden Pledge and our warranties and our upgraded shingles and everything, and our deductibles, and 4 or 5 grand of upgrades into the solar financing, and it's still being lower than their energy bill for 30 years fixed.
We're doing that out here like crazy with the storm damage, and it's happening now still. My biggest question is, you sound like you could have built a successful roofing company. What made you choose public adjusting over the roofing side of it?
So my best friend is, he owns a roofing company. He's my preferred vendor in Phoenix. And the thing is that being a public adjuster, if I want to go nationwide, some states will not allow me to have any affiliation with a roofing company. So some type of a kickback situation. So I'm assuming, so to protect myself, Arizona does not have that law. So I could own a roofing company and a solar company and a public adjusting company here, no problem. But
dude, that's sick. I would be using the hell out of that pitch. To be honest with you, that's what I thought you were doing, bro. I was like, you can get away with that in Arizona. Do that shit.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Well, that's what I'm doing. Okay, now
that's what I'm doing.
The ultimate hustle, dog. That is a sick hustle. The public adjuster, roofing, solar hustle. God, it's beautiful.
100%.
Solar,
and now we got the
retail. Oh man,
and we got the install. We got all licensed up for install, so we're installing our own solar now, and I got credit repair coming on top of that, which is a whole nother cool little addition to the whole game. But if I want to go nationwide in the other states, I can't be affiliated with roofing companies in that aspect. So I'm restructuring, doing some things so I can expand in bigger markets, or just go into states where it's still legal to do. I don't know how many there are. I haven't really got that far into it, but there's so much need for PAs, for contractors who need help. California just became a storm state. And so we're getting blown up by California. And these guys, there's people calling us, they didn't know what an insurance claim was. We told him what to do. He went there to the adjuster wrote him a check for $50,000. He's like, dude, you just saved my business. I'm like, that's what we're doing here, bro. That's my goal. My goal is I want to build the largest network and army of contractors in this nation. So these billionaire insurance companies, which I'm not a huge fan of, stop hosting the little guy all the time. And there's actually someone to back him up with power. Not just all these little other, associations, but a large community of like an army of guys in network together, doing business together, putting their minds and their resources, everything together. So 20, 30 years from now, we actually have a voice.
That right there, my friend, is exactly what my life's purpose is. Me and you are in complete alignment. That's why at this event, you need to be a part of our community. Wes is going to be there, and I'm pumped to have you there. But more importantly, that's what it's all about. Like private equity groups, they're after adjusting companies, roofing companies, solar companies. All three of your niches fall into recession-proof, pandemic-proof, inflation-proof. And these companies now need, since tech companies are failing, banks are failing, real businesses, real assets. And if you could build an 8-figure business that's profitable, the magic number's 3 million, then you can become an 8-figure net worth, blue collar, like 8-figure millionaire. You know what I'm saying? And that's really like, unpressed times before. I can remember my uncle, he built a $100 million roofing company. He's like, man, he was a storm chaser. He traveled with the business. He went all over the place. He worked under local companies' names. It was sort of like a mafia, a moving mafia of roofing salespeople. But basically he's like, dude, my business, it's not really worth anything without me. There's not a bank. But times have changed. What do you think about that?
So I know a lot of guys kind of stuck in that because their name is the brand and their content, their teaching is really the business. And it's tough, man. Like for me, like no one wants to buy a canvassing company, right? So after you go, and who's going to get the meetings? Who's going to keep these guys around? That whole thing. So that's where it comes in. I want to take these tool belts of the public adjusting, the solar, the credit repair. I'm building a custom CRM with the Andy Elliott Group, who's building our custom CRM for us. And I want to market all those tools nationwide, so every contractor in this nation could have. They click on the website, they have someone selling them a solar proposal within 30 seconds and doing solar in the house for a homeowner. I want someone to be on a roof to send pictures and get approval for an insurance claim and send us the insurance claim. If the homeowner has bad credit, they sign up with us. We get flagged when they get to 650 credit score. That contractor gets back in a house to either go solar or new roof, what have you. And I want to bring all these cats back to Phoenix. I'm working on getting a very large facility that could house 300, 400 people in an audience space. And I want to get education. I want to teach these guys what we're doing, teach these guys the solar, teach these guys, the public adjusting, get amazing people like, Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door. I'm not sure if you heard of him, but he sold part of his company for 200 million. It's garage door company. It's an incredible story. John Malot's, Andy Elliott's, Brad Lee's, Ken Goodrich from Gettle. I mean, there's a lot of cats out this way that I think, and Mark Jennison, who's been a part of my sober experience with I Am a Comeback, has been we just did a podcast last week. So I'm just trying to build a network.
A friend, his name is Jeremy. This guy's been a digital marketer. He's a media buyer for Facebook ads for both me and Mark. But he used to work with Grant Cardone. He was like my first Facebook media buyer, and we get a bunch of. But anyways, I've seen Mark grow as a coach and as a business person. So I've really been proud of his movement, how much of an impact he's made, and I think it's really cool.
Mark Jennison?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. By the grace of God, we call it rumbles with my team. Like if you're fucking up, like we're gonna sit down, we're gonna rumble a little bit. And I was getting rumbled hard for my drinking, dude. And then it was fair. And it's like we have too much riding on the line for a drink or some stupid thing or some dumb behavior to fuck it up. So that night, I was just scrolling Instagram and I saw I Am a Comeback, jumped on it, and it's been working for me, bro. I mean, it's been everything works different for everyone else, but it's been helpful for me. And he flew into Phoenix. I picked him up last week, and we did a little podcast. I got to meet him. Really cool dude. I wish him all the success in the world. And I heard he's getting into the non-alcoholic beverage space. He's coming out with a cool thing with vitamin water. So I heard he's doing some big things.
Smart guy. So really, that's the coolest thing about my conference. There's going to be a bunch of private equity groups, and these guys, they're wanting to be a part of our community. And what we do is we help guys, grow their social platform. That's sort of like the biggest thing that's kind of took me from good to great is digital duplication. The typical door-to-door has been like my heartbeat, my bread and butter, but it's been applying social media, virtual training, funnels, automation, and building the best team. Because I will tell you, no matter what in business, it always comes down to that. Like it's the biggest unfair advantage in business you can get is a good team. And so I see you running your business. And that's why I was thinking this guy's way more than a public adjuster. So you are like a freaking Swiss Army.
I'm an entrepreneur, man. Like I passed the test.
Yeah.
I was smart enough to pass the test, and I stick to the rules. But I just surround myself with really smart people, and then I try to keep going full speed ahead as much as I can. I think speed's the biggest benefit you could have as an entrepreneur is how fast can you really go, because time is never really on your side.
Now you recruit salespeople, you hire salespeople. What's your process? What's your struggles with that? How you said that they become your competition. Does salespeople becoming your competition prevent you from wanting to recruit new salespeople?
Every salesperson that I have brought on that went to other, had left, has ended up working for competitors or trying to do their own thing, which just is a staple on how good of a thing we're teaching and how good of a industry we're in and the occupation that we have to provide income. Because a lot of these guys, they were down and out, and we helped them. We gave them places to sleep sometimes. We gave them food to eat. We got them vehicles, and we changed their life. And if they think the grass is greener and we taught them the skill sets, more power to you, man. I don't hold grudges like that. My goal is for people to eventually graduate from my company. I want people to fucking come into my company and get the knowledge and get the experience and hopefully build residual income with whatever investments we're doing or what have you, to where they can graduate and go do their own thing, and we could do future business down the road. I'm not the guy to keep people prisoner and keep them working underneath me and for 10, 15, 20 years because they're good at something. I want to see people graduate. Now, have I put a lot into people and they left and went to a competitor and took business? Sure. I mean, yeah, I guess that happens, but at least he's able to feed his family at night. And so I was able to sleep with clean conscience.
Yeah, I love that. Because honestly, everybody's getting better. I don't care whose personalities butthurt. Everybody's family wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's going to come take your business or whatever, that means you're sleeping. That means you're not getting after it enough. If I taught this guy the game in 6 months and he's becoming a competitor, then that means I'm lacking. That means you're focused on the wrong things. You're focused on some guy still in business or what have you. If someone feels like the grass is greener or they got a better deal, I wish them the best and go do what's right by your family. But we brought in, with my recruiters, we do a strong, I want to say like a Hell Week process or some type of terms like that, to where they have to master the pitch. They have to send in videos. They have to, they're around the team before they join the team. There's stages to the game now before just, hey, come on in and fill an application. Here's a piece of paper, or go get in the meeting. We're heading out to the field in an hour. Like we're not doing that no more. Only select few get to roll with the team. We take a lot of pride with our team now. We take a lot of pride with our leaders. And we never done it before because we're always just, as an owner, businessman, you're always trying to put out fires. And one thing is going well enough, you start focusing on the other thing. And when canvassing is going good enough, we kind of let that go. And that's why you're going to get that separation, that division. But now when you have people like, it's a real culture. We're big on culture now. Culture is everything for us because of all the people that have took advantage of us and left us and things like that. We weed them out early now. So there's a trial period.
Because like I can remember a time kind of sell, not necessarily a dress culture. Then you have defectors, mutiny, you fix things, you go to core values. If you had any of those brick wall moments and then any comeback stories?
Yeah, I mean, there's been.
When you talk about culture, you have to say, oh, well, there has to. Then it's overcoming toxic culture, bad culture, eliminating cancer. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we had drug habits, relapses come through the office one time, and it seemed to hit everyone in a wave. And there was about 2-3 people we had to take care of, and one we sent to rehab and paid their salary so their kids could be good and make sure they can get good as well. And we've had people take the whole canvas team to the bar after the meeting multiple days in a row and things like that. I built an office in Tucson once before that. I put leaders in charge there, and they ended up just shipping everything to another company and jumping ship and getting offered all this stuff because we were taking over the market. Now I'm back in Tucson, taking it back over. If you're not watching, if you're not in the front lines, you better have someone you fucking trust with your life on the front lines. Because if you're letting someone who you're not willing to let babysit your kids in the field with your team, making sure people are getting after it, then they're gonna wander. They're gonna wander off and start seeing, well, if I'm the only one out here and I'm the one working, what's he doing? What value does he bring? I'm gonna go find what other more options and whatever else I can get. And people, that's just natural for people when they're not being led. And that's where I said, you got to take accountability for yourself. Like I have to be the one, I got to lead them. Or if I don't have the time to be able to do that, if that'll happen to grow my business, I got to find someone who can be that leader. And that's what we do. We did and we do now is build leaders that are believe the culture, understand. We have it tiered out to where they know where they're going out, the future of their path, what to strive for. And a lot of that just wasn't in place when I started. When I started, it was just go out there, knock doors, make a shit ton of money, and what are you worried about? But sometimes the culture and the excitement and earning prizes and earning recognition is more important than that paycheck at times. It is.
Absolutely, it drives people more than fear. And a leaderboard. Y'all have some sort of a way to? How do you do that?
So we do a weekly top producer bonus. So the top producer. I mean, dude, if I was able to work for myself when I started, dude, I'd be retired. I mean, you get 2 claims a day, you get 10 claims in 1 week, you're getting $3,000 a week. And that's if the roof gets bought or not. That's just, and you're not even signing the deal. You're just knocking the door and someone else is coming in and signing it up. So you're getting $3,000 just for that door knock. And then you get an extra $250 for top producer bonus. We have a leaderboard. If you get on the leaderboard, it's another $250. If you get on top of the leaderboard, it's $500. We throw monthly competitions. We're putting in cruises in there. We're doing weekly things with our team. We try to get creative, man. We try to get creative,
shit, bro. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it, man. So, dude, what's the big game plan for scale? I mean, are you limited? Are you going outside your area? You trying to take over one at a time? How do you scale? How do you hit your goals?
So I have an office being built in Utah. We're gonna bring this model to Utah. I'm using my license with solar for California. My goal is to get Texas off the ground too. So right now I have Phoenix, Tucson, they're built out, they're producing. I pretty much took over Arizona. Now Utah, I'm working on Utah. I got a Mormon business partner, so we should be able to get some type of traction. I know it's a hard market to get in. And then we got Texas. I'm looking at Dallas within a year, and then Houston and San Antonio. And then as far as offices go, that's probably gonna be like my limit as like brick and mortar offices with canvassers knocking doors. And then from that route, I'm just gonna go the CRM platform, the training for the public adjusting from all the whole.
How are you with your paid advertising on your digital ads on your Facebook and funnels? You're all door to door, or what percentage do you do digital?
Now, I'll be honest with you, Lee. I have not done any advertisement since maybe a few months ago, and that's because one of my business partners is a marketing guy, and we really only advertise for recruiting. All my business has all been through door to door. Not a radio ad, not a TV ad, not a bumper sticker. Like, dude, like we just knock doors. And I'm a fossil in that way. You know, I know I gotta get with the times. I'm looking at Spanish radio. I'm looking at a lot of different things, but I'm just like, I'm
Instagram, dog. Artificial intelligence, retargeting what people want. They're talking about the claims. This is listening all the time. Facebook and Instagram, advertising on YouTube, using videos to sell. I've seen your videos, you can sell. I got the frameworks based on the most proven ads. I teach you, and we guarantee jobs. We guarantee 25 contracts. And so basically, if I don't get you the jobs, you don't pay for it, but I let you into my network. You become one of my top performing guys, because what we do is we like give you our recruiting system. And I can tell you, you're a badass sales trainer, you're a badass recruiter, you're a badass at everything, but it's just like the way you separate the serious from the curious. We have some cheat codes with the job boards, but it's more about how you really are able to drive people from a funnel to a Zoom call to a live event to create sort of like a circus effect. And I'm going to be doing it live for you at this event at Fort Myers, where we're not just going to have regular people. We're not just going to have entrepreneurs. We're going to have investors. We're going to have roofers. We're going to have solar guys. We're going to have public adjusters. And it'd be a great place for you to earn a spot on the fucking stage, to tell your story. Yeah. You may be one of the most legendary public adjuster roofing solar motherfuckers on the game that people be sleeping on. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is those guys, Andy and all those other guys, they're bad motherfuckers. I'm the blue collar BMF. And so, I have $100 million roofing and solar company, and there is 400 employees, and we're trying to do over 10 million in coaching on the internet right here, right now. But what we're doing is
impressive, man.
I just acquired my first client. We grew him from 2 million to 7 in his first year, 7 to 15, 15 to 18. We just bought in at $4.5 million acquisition, 50% owners, Southers Construction. Congratulations, Ricky Southers, because we're going to be like scaling together on the next exit. And the goal is, to go public. And who's going to be our investment partners? They're lining the fuck up, because they see me as the wealthy platform in the fucking making. And let me tell you something. The thing about me is I have the digital advertising. I have the door-to-door recruiting funnel. I have the social media platform. You're trying to grow to be a major influencer. That's a key advantage you're looking for, right?
Yeah. I'm all in. I'm all in, bro. Everything you're saying, I want to get all in on. I've been lacking on all those marketing things, but I'm all in now. So you let me know where and when and who to write the check to, dog. I'm ready to go.
All right, that's what I thought, because you're the perfect guy for my fit, and I'll make you fucking million. And honestly, bro, what'll happen is that you'll end up being the best salesman for my shit, because I'm gonna make you millions of fucking dollars, and you're a great fucking stage seller. I can tell. I seen you on a stage, dog. Your sales training platform is pretty impressive. I come in there and check in for motivation. I think it's badass, and so I think everybody should follow you on Instagram. How can they get a hold of you on Instagram?
It's alpha.smitty is my IG. It's just IG right now. I don't got TikTok or none of the other stuff. My wife is very conservative like myself, and we got rid of all the social medias. And then I realized, hey, I got to get back in the game. So I've been getting back into Instagram. But I have a marketing.
The most important platform for recruiting. And it's smart that you got in on that platform. So, I think that I got some big ideas, because I want to collaborate on posts. I want to help grow your audience. I want to take clips from this YouTube. I think even tagging me in content that you create door to door. some of the most viral content in the way that I've grown and the way people really like to consume it is out in the neighborhood. So taking what we talked about, dude, you're a fucking Johnny Appleseed on the doors. The solar insurance retail pitch, people don't understand it. Me and you may be one of the only people in the whole world that know how it all works together. And basically, that's an unfair advantage in mini markets. I can take what you're doing there and you could help me virtually. I have a huge network and a lot of the roofing guys struggle with selling solar. And so if you're basically helping me scale this network, I mean, there's a lot of places that we can help each other. So I think we level each other up. You add to our community, but I will fucking blow up the digital marketing, your social media following, your recruiting funnel. And hopefully by the time we get to this conference, we'll have had some massive results and you can talk about it on stage at the event.
Let's fucking go. And I got some amazing business partners. So, any one of those realms.
I like Andy, dude. I think those guys are badass. I want to talk to all your business partners. I want to connect with everybody out there in Arizona. I plan on meeting
100%.
Brad's friends with all of them. A friend of mine just went back, was deciding on to come to Florida and work with me or to go to Arizona and work with Andy. And he went with Andy, and I wish him the best of luck because basically I think he's a great guy. And I think that I got to come visit you. Like you said, I have a friend of mine, one of my best friends from high school lives in Scottsdale, and I got to just come into town one day and come visit. We have to go play golf and go to the lake or something.
Dude, I'm obsessed with freaking golf, man. I've been playing for a year now and I can't stop, dude. I'm obsessed. Have you talked to my boy Rio Osorio?
I need to talk to him because basically he says I
think he's been messaging you, but I don't know.
I'm an idiot. I do need to send him. I did go back and
No. Basically, you do need to get to the desert, bro. I think you're gonna do it.
For real.
Phoenix is Mecca. I know you're Florida. It's hard to leave.
No, but for solar insurance retail, it's a Mecca. For what you're talking about, y'all have because solar makes so much sense in Arizona, and there's plenty of wind on the wind damage. I mean, there's plenty of wind dates. There's plenty of wind damage. There's opportunities to get those roofs bought, and then you gotta keep the roofs going. I mean, how do you create that sense of urgency whenever they're not worried about the rain?
It's how we teach. It's how we coach. We create that urgency with the whole, right now, I know that you have severe storm damage. And, these people, they've been dealing with this shitty roof for 8, 10, 12, 15 years. And we have a track record and they can look it up. We have success rate of getting these done. And most people are kind of like, what do they have to lose? They've been paying this insurance company for 20 years. They've been denied 3 times,
I call it the sell in America. It's so much easier than solar. It's so much easier. I mean, it really is. I mean, a retail roof is hard to sell, but an insurance roof, a public adjusting claim is easier to sell than an insurance roof. It's crazy. I love it how you just start with the public adjusting claim and roll the roof right into it without even having to address it. I think it's beautiful. And with that, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Dude, like and subscribe, comment below what you thought about this episode. We got to get my man. My dad says he's Lieutenant Dan. We're going to have to start calling you Lieutenant Dan.
Thank you so much, Lee.
We'll see you, man.